the middle of April and the spring flowers are looking lovely, and I have been managing to keep this end of the garden a little bit tidy. However, my big bother is the tree, and I'll show you as I go through. It got really damaged in the winter storms, and so there's lots of the dead branches hanging, and it's just got too big for me to deal with. I've already taken 3 massive branches off it. You can see there's one that was totally dead, and there's dead ones hanging. It's too tall for me to deal with. And in the meantime, I have done the path. But the worst thing is that the ground elder is totally taken over. It's right through this bed. So at the minute I'm not quite sure what I'm going to do. Well, in the end, I found Sean and Adam who are going to take the tree down for me. Well, there he goes up the tree to take it down bit by bit. Well, all that was a week ago now, and the tree got taken down, and I was just wandering around thinking, how on earth am I going to get all this done? I didn't really even want to be out there, because if you've been to my channel before and you've seen one or two of my other garden videos, especially the one I did last spring, you'll know that it's been difficult for me to get back out here since my husband passed away. And so I knew that there was some sort of a block there, but I didn't really know what it was. I was looking at the ground elder. I was thinking, what would I tell somebody else to do? I would be saying, if they didn't want to spray things off, I'd be going, plant potatoes. You know, you dig them in, you get the weeds out, you earth them up, you get more weeds out. It's a way of sort of taking it a bit of a time. And I didn't really want to do that. And I thought, oh, it's through the wall, it's just everywhere. And off I went inside and didn't do anything about it at all. My brain must have been working at it, because I woke up the next morning and I had a full idea ready to go in my head, and I couldn't wait to get out here and just sort of have a look and think, is that possible? Can I do it? And what it was the fact that I started off gardening by growing vegetables. When I was quite little, my first memories of gardens were digging potatoes up with my granddad from his vegetable patch when I was a very little girl, and thinking it was magic. And up until the last few years, I've always thought it was magic, digging potatoes up. And I think that was the seed of making my brain just think of something different. And what it was to turn the whole top of my garden back into a vegetable patch. Well, when I say back into, it's never actually been a vegetable patch. The garden's always looked beautiful. I loved all the flowers and all the shrubs at the top of the garden. But in all honesty, the last 4 years, I just haven't been up to do anything with it. So no weeding got done, no shrubs got pruned, the hedge didn't get pruned, nothing got done, because I just didn't want to be there at all. And the most I could do was manage to keep the little front bit decent. It's not been good, it's very overgrown, but at least I pulled out the big weeds when they were there, and I cut things back when I had to. However, when I woke up last week, I realised that, could I do something with the vegetable garden? Could I do something and change it? And before I knew where I was, I had my spade out and I was digging plants up. And I was digging plants up to save them, and I had a whole idea in my head. And so by the end of that day, I realised I had my garden mojo well and truly back. And what I actually needed to do that got rid of that block altogether was just change things. Even though I've changed a lot of things in the last sort of 3.5 going on for 4 years, it'll be 4 years in September since Michael passed away. Even though I've changed the decoration in the house, I've changed all sorts of things, I hadn't realised just how much of a thing that was for me. And I know everybody's different and everybody goes through that grieving process in a totally different way. But for me, changing something has been a key to being able to go forward. And it started particularly with 2 things that I've struggled with. One was reading and one was the garden. And my reading, I've read since I was a child, and every single night, every single day, where my routine was go to bed, pick up my book, read until I fancy putting the light out. And I've done that all my life, as long as I can remember, up until Michael wasn't here. And then I found I couldn't really open a book. My brain would be wandering onto something else and I just couldn't seem to do it. Until a few weeks ago, when my daughter Naomi said, she was recommending me a book. And I said, I know, but I still haven't managed to read anything. And she's going, well, what are you doing, Mum? Tell me what happens. And so I explained. And she says, well, why don't you change where you're reading? Why don't you bring your book downstairs and before you go upstairs, try and just do some reading in your chair and then go to bed. Oh, okay. And I didn't really have any hopes of it working. But that first day after she had said that, I thought, okay, I'll give it a try. It's not going to really work. I don't see why that would make a difference. The fact is it did. Straight away. That first night I read a chapter of the book I'd been trying to read. And it just amazed myself that small change of breaking the routine of what I'd done before, that made a difference. And so I went on to read that whole book downstairs. I'm on to the second book, and that even though that had worked, it didn't equate to the garden. My brain didn't make the connection between reading somewhere different to doing something different in the garden until just last week. And then it's all changed. And so from one day to the next, I went from not being engaged to the last week I've spent every single day out here from morning till dark, digging plants, planning, making sure I can do what I want to do. Everything's going to change and it's wonderful because I feel I'm back, and it's lovely to feel that excitement about plants in my garden that I always did feel, and now I've got it back and it feels like I've moved forward a big step. And I don't want anybody to think that I feel like I've moved on. I haven't moved on anything. I haven't moved on from missing Michael. I haven't moved on from being what I've been feeling inside for him. But what I have done is found a way to move forward with things that have been stuck, and feeling guilty that I wasn't reading, and feeling guilty that I wasn't engaged with my garden. In the end, I started the phonology wheel last January, that's January 24. I started painting the phonology wheel as a way to try and get me back outside. And it did work to a certain extent, it really did. I came out here every day and got my photograph and painted my painting and did my nature journaling. And I did do bits of weeding and I did do bits of stuff, but it never sort of got to feel anything about it. I think that's the thing. I was doing it, but I wasn't feeling it until last week when I decided to change the whole top of my garden. And that's just reinvigorated everything, and the knock-on effect in 1 week has been amazing. So I just want to say to anybody out there that things do eventually come right for you, even though you feel you can't move forward, which is what I was like. So I'm going to show you what I've done in a week. I've done so much. The whole top garden that you couldn't even walk round is now got loads of plants dug up. Some of them I've kept, some of them I've given away to people. Neighbours have got plants, and there are big plans afoot. And it's all really exciting. And so I'm going to get on with some weeding this morning, and I'll just show you what I've been up to. It's very exciting, and I'm just so thrilled that I feel re-engaged with all of my garden, not just the bit that I'm changing, but the whole thing. I can see all the things that have been left undone, but I can tackle them now. I know that I'll come out and do them because I feel I'm back. I'm back with my garden, which is absolutely wonderful. Now lots of plants in holding areas. This is raven's wing, a black cow parsley, one of my favourites. Nothing's going to change in this bit, other than it's going to eventually get properly weeded out and everything cleared up like it should be. But what's going to change is through this lovely archway here that has the roses and the honeysuckle on. This is where the big problem with the ground elder is. It always used to come up from underneath the pond, and I used to keep on top of it. But it's had 4 years of not being looked after, and so it's just gone rampant. You can see that lovely gold there. That's a lamium, that's yellow archangel, and it's really pretty. But I have it over here as well, and so this whole bed has to get dug out. And I was dreading it, but actually it's almost half done now, because if I pull the camera up, that I've already cleared all of that. Willow Tree is under that log there. It's all my wood piled up waiting for either for my fire or waiting to use around the garden. There's lovely plants held in buckets and waiting for new spaces. The pond's being used as a holding area for plants that I've dug up. Because at the moment I can't do anything about taking it out because there are tadpoles in it. The pond's full up with all the leaves that have fallen in for years. Well, there's lots to do, and I'm excited to have renewed vigour for coming out into my garden. The hours I've put in the last week have been amazing, and not 1 minute of it has been a chore. It all just feels like it's been waiting there for me to come back, and I know Michael would be pleased that I'm back out here and enjoying it, because it's been a difficult thing to know that it was here and that I didn't enjoy it at all, and I didn't feel anything. That was the point. It wasn't that I didn't enjoy it, it was just that I didn't feel anything about it, and literally overnight it came back. And it's because I'm changing things. And so however sad it is to see my pond go and all the plants that have been in this top, it's going to be different and it's going to be lovely. And this is not an allotment, this is my garden, so it's going to have to be pretty too, and so it will be pretty, and I'm looking forward to quite an exciting new adventure with my garden, with a different perspective, and it's lovely to be feeling that I'm at the start of something again. And so you'll probably see a lot more content of my garden because I'm going to be out here all the time. Thanks for watching, everyone. I've really enjoyed making this, even though it was a bit difficult to talk about at times, but I'm sitting out here in my garden and I can't wait to say stop videoing so I can just go and carry on digging out my ground alder and making plans. That's the best bit, making plans and being excited about them again. Thanks for watching, everyone.